Let's go ahead and open up the doors and bring everybody in from the waiting room. Folks, if you would like to join us here on Daily with Doc, and you'd like to be here live in the Zoom room with us, feel free to come join us. dailywithdoczoom.com. That is dailywithdoczoom.com. And that's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, most weeks, from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're Mountain Time, that is 1 to 2, Central 2 to 3, Eastern 3 to 4. And if you're somewhere else around this wonderful, beautiful world, use Google and say, hey, Google, what time is 12 Pacific time in my time zone? And Google will give you the answer. So will Siri and so will Alexa as well. Well, we just want to say hello and welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I'm excited to be able to bring you more empowering information that gives you options that you yourself can choose as an empowered individual to create a better health journey. So if you are watching this program and somebody invited you to watch this program specifically, make sure that you get back with them and tell them thank you for sharing this information with me. And also, if you have questions about anything that's mentioned on this show, they are your contact point. So make sure that you remember who shared the show with you, get back with them with any and all questions. For those of you who have found the program on your own, you were not referred to this program by anybody else, and you have not spoken to anybody about longevity, Daily with Doc, Dr. Wallach, or any of the products mentioned in any of our programs, then you are welcome to give our call team a call at 855-949-3377. Again, that is 855-949-3377. And this program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, where we have replays of our previous programming, plus some special episodes as well. We have the good foods, bad foods list that is commonly mentioned on this program. And we have a store, but most importantly, we have a way that you can get added to our email list that then announces our shows and also links with descriptions of the previous week's shows to make it easier for you to refer to and share with others. And if you are out on any of the places that we stream, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, put a comment and let us know where you are joining us from, and share this program with you, especially as you're listening and you hear somebody that comes, as you're listening, somebody comes to mind. Well, there's a reason that person comes to mind. Things don't happen by accident or coincidence, folks. Share the program with them as their lives may be touched by the information that they hear as well. Today, I am honored and privileged to have a couple with me that, one of these days, they're just, when you're a couple and you can say that you're friends and you've been together like forever and you work together, you just do everything together, you enjoy life together. It just makes life better when you have that special someone. And this couple have that special someone in each other, where they are coming from the corporate world as an executive with a major banking industry, and then also coming off of Wall Street and then having his own business in computers and getting it to the point where, we want to work for ourselves and help people in a different way. And that's exactly what Raymond and Yolanda Brown have done, with over 45 years experience in network marketing and together in longevity since 2009. It is my privilege and honor to welcome to the screen with me the Browns, Raymond and Yolanda Brown. Hello and welcome to Daily with Doc. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedules to be here with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becca. we're excited, Becca. Thank you. And
hey, everybody.
Your team for all that you do. We really, really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So, and I know Doc is really proud as well. So thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to take something that you truly believe in because it has made such an impact in your own life. And the two of you have impacted so many people's lives. In fact, one of my very first corporate events was in Dallas, and you two were the first two that I ran into from Longevity, and just the warmth and love that I felt from you. And I didn't even know you. You just poured out upon me, and I wanted to be able to someday do that to others. And that's exactly what I'm doing. So thank you for spreading that love. And that's exactly what this family is all about, no matter where you're at within the company.
That's
So
exactly
thank you.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Becca.
You know,
Now, the two of you brought a product into Longevity, or were part of an acquisition that Longevity had years ago of a product called zRadical.
mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about zRadical and why you believe in it so much.
Wow. And I'll start and then I'll flip it over to you and I'll actually get a bottle of zRadical, which I had right here, and then I moved it for some reason. But the reason why we're so excited about it and he can tell the story as to how it all began is that we were actually wanting to help as many people as we could. And we wanted to make a difference, like so many people. And that's something that I think every one of us have said at some point in our lives. I just want to make a difference. I just want to help someone. But we really don't know how. And so when you think about helping someone, if you can give them better health, that really catapults you to the very top of everything. Because without our health, we hear it often, but how many of us actually listen to it? Without our health, nothing else matters. So that's where we can make a difference. And so when we got involved in this industry, in wellness, that is what really showed us that this was a ministry and that we could help others. So hence we were introduced to this main ingredient in Fucoidan, which is in zRadical. And it absolutely changed the quality of our lives. And we wanted to share that with others. Now, how that happened, I'll let Raymond share that story with you.
Okay. So this this was on a Friday, Becca and guys. This guy calls here at the house and says, well, Mr. Brown, you don't know us, but we found something that's going to change mankind as you know it. And I'm saying, yeah, right. I've heard this before. Here's a sales pitch. He said, I don't even know where he got our names from. I think it was Better Business Bureau or something like that. But anyway, he says, listen, I know you doubt me. He said, but we're going to fly you down to Florida and we're going to put you up first class. We're going to fly you first class and just give us your opinion on what you think. And I told Yolanda, I said, they're going to fly us down first class. They're going to put us up first class. I said, what are we doing next weekend? We weren't doing anything. They flew us down. But when we got on the plane, y'all, the first thing I told Yolanda was this. I said, look, we ain't buying nothing. We ain't selling nothing. And we ain't getting into nothing. That's what I told. And I said, don't give me that look, right? Y'all, ladies, y'all know the look y'all give us when you want something, right? Convincing us. So anyway, we got down there, guys, and they had invited like maybe 12 other people from around the country. And I guess maybe 30 minutes into it, in walked these four guys with the white coats on and stethoscope. And I kicked Yolanda under the table. I say, watch this. I've been in sales over 50 years. I know a sale when it's about to happen, right? So they opened up this little book and they started talking about how these natives from third world countries like the what part of the world were they in? They were like in the
But just say around the Polynesian
Polynesian
islands,
islands, yeah,
like that. Yeah.
And they had people that more statistically people live into their hundreds than we did. You know, first rate country, and so that sounded good. And then they started talking about this weird name for Fucoidan and what it did and how it worked and all of that stuff. Now, I was excited about it. It was a product, it was called, that worked at the cellular level, that it was impossible for it not to work.
That main ingredient for Fucoidan.
Yeah, yep. So, but what got me was this, what the research behind it. And when we saw the research from Duke, we're North Carolina, so Duke to North Carolinians is like Harvard to people in Connecticut, I guess. I don't know. And it was Duke, it was Harvard School of Medicine, it was Baylor College of Medicine, and then it was Johns Hopkins, which is the world's foremost research center. And it was talking about Fucoidan and cancer, Fucoidan and diabetes. Now, you could find this information on the government website, pubmed.gov. That is the National Library of Medicine for the United States. And all the credible laboratories and researchers use this site, not only the United States, from around the world. So and the research started back in 1970. So I told Yolanda, I kind of kicked under the table again. I said, look, I don't think Harvard, and this is in 2000, I said, I don't think Harvard and Duke and Baylor put this stuff on the government website just to trick me 30 years later, right? So we ended up bringing 10 cases back to Sugar Land, Texas.
Remember, okay, guys, I want you to really pay attention to that. Remember what he told me? We're not buying anything. We're not signing anything. And don't give me that look. So then all of a sudden we are buying 10 cases. So I just want you to hear that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
But anyway, so we had them. So at the time we had a little cassette tape that one of the doctors had given us. I mean, the doctors actually the guy gave it to us, but one of the doctors had made the little, and it was all research. Remember, nobody in the United States had taken this stuff or drank this stuff before, right? So we had a gathering here at the house and we played the little cassette and we say, look, guys, we don't know what to do, right? Nobody's ever, this is it. So on Monday, so our neighbor bought a case that Thursday night. On Monday, she called us, guys, and she said her blood pressure had dropped 30 points in 3 days. Now I'm doubting her, right? Me and we don't, take the stuff that easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
or you're just skeptical.
Yeah. And we had a nurse, Becca and guys, here that night that had been on, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Prozac, but she had been on Prozac. She's a nurse. Had been a nurse for at least 25 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she called us back maybe 45 days and said that the doctor had taken her off of her Prozac.
Her psychiatrist had taken her off.
Yeah, her psychiatrist, yeah.
Yep.
So after that, we went to town telling everybody. I said, this stuff, it affects your mind too. We called the doctor and they said, yeah, it works at the cellular level. So guys, it started spreading so fast. We grew out of the house and we went to a hotel. And we were having anywhere from 150 to 200 people show up every Thursday night. Like maybe a year into it, I don't know exactly, but something happened and we couldn't get one of the ingredients in the product. It wasn't the Fucoidan, it was something else. And guys, and we told them for 3 months we couldn't get the product, but still 100 to 125 people were showing up just for the promise of getting it in the future. People were getting out of wheelchairs. Their hair was growing back. Their blood pressure was cancer was reversing. I mean, you name it, their skin was getting pretty. I mean, it was, I mean, story was coming out. I mean, we just couldn't get, we were having drive-bys, guys. People would run out real fast and they'll call us and say, you know, we really didn't, we stocked it, but we were, you know, we don't really stock it. So they say, just let us drive by and just throw a bottle in the back,
in the back seat.
In the back
well,
seat.
we had this thing where we would drive with 5, you know, so we would always try to keep at least 5 cases on hand, so that when we're talking to someone and they were ready to go, we could get them started with a case if they were local. And then when their product came in, we just had it shipped to us. So we're constantly being able to get people started on the product immediately. So people knew that we had extra product. And when that happened, it was, everybody else was doing the same thing. It was duplicatable and everybody else was doing the same thing. So we were able to keep the product flowing for those 3 months. It goes to show you what can happen when you pull together as a team and you're all doing the same thing. So that's why, you know, it's important that we understand that we don't have to keep inventory, but that was our part of the system, drive with 5. So when somebody got ready to get started, they didn't have to wait on the product. We could get them started immediately. So that was very key. Yeah.
So back then, you know, we did a lot of one-on-ones. We would go to somebody's house and we would do a lot of one-on-ones and they ready to get started. We have the case right there, getting them started when they sign up, and then we would have their case shipped to us. So not only me and Yolanda was doing this, but we had hundreds of people at the time doing the same thing.
In the group, on the team.
On the team, yeah. So at the time, guys, we really didn't know what we were doing. We just kind of thought, because we were business people, we just thought we were going to run the business like we ran our corporate businesses, right? Or private businesses. And come to find out, it really doesn't work that way at all. It you know, it's kind of like if somebody, Yolanda was, you know, she controlled $1 billion budget, so she had a lot of employees, right? I was owner of a company, so if we didn't like something, we just fired them. But here, you couldn't do that. People came in on their own free will, doing whatever they wanted to, and it was a shock to us, right?
If someone would say they was going to do something and they didn't do it, I'm like, oh, wait. That happens, you know. So it was really getting to understand that and to realize, as Raymond was saying, this is an all volunteer business. So nobody has a boss. So you have a system, and prayerfully, all of you out there that are listening, get with the person that invited you here. You have a system that you are working, and that system is duplicatable. So, but when people aren't working the system and they're not as successful, then people stop doing what they say that they're going to do. And that was a shock to me. I was like, I don't get this.
I don't understand why you don't have the ambition that I have.
Yeah,
or you know, I didn't understand that.
To do that, you know, it's sort of like if it was your job, you would do it, and you wouldn't even question it. You would just do it because you're going to get that paycheck. People didn't understand residual income. So that's when we realized that we had to put together a system to help people to understand that residual income was something that would be with them for as long as people were ordering the product. But once you were reorganized out of a job or let go or whatever it may have been, your money stops. And though you may have been invested in your 401k or whatever it is, that's not being matched anymore. So that's what really helped us to turn things around, because Raymond was right. We would look at each other and go, why aren't they doing what they're supposed to do? And we cannot fire them because they don't work for us. But what we can do is to help them to get better if they choose to. So they have to qualify and they have to choose to.
And you set the example as leaders.
Yes.
Because I know one thing that I found is like, okay, one, I can't ask somebody else to do something I'm not willing to do. And two, I want to be the best employee that I could be or can be for me in my own business.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. You know, one of the things, so what happened is we made a lot of mistakes, guys. We really did. A lot. But we knew that we had the product and the research behind it.
And the product works.
So all we had to do was work. Even with all the mistakes that we were making, we were still succeeding in spite of the mistakes. Mm-hmm. But we had to realize that this wasn't about Yolanda and I, right? Eventually, it wasn't what we could do, right? Because we couldn't sustain the pace we were going to keep all these people we were bringing into the business. And we didn't have a system. We were just going on sheer energy, sheer excitement, those types of things. And so we realized that if we were going to have a residual income, we had to have a system. And so the way we developed our system, number one, it had to be a common sense approach, and it had to be able to work for everybody, not just a person with a college degree. It had to work for grandma who might have or grandpa who might have only gone to the third grade. So we put our heads together over time, and we looked back and we would just jot down things that had worked and didn't work for us. We were just sheer energy. I'll give you a quick story. We didn't know when people were really committed and when they weren't, because everybody gets excited in the beginning, right? So we had I can say this because they're not around anymore, had this couple over in Georgia, in a big city in Georgia. And we were so excited. We had rented a room for a week, a conference room for a week to present. We had rented a car for a week and all this stuff and advertisement. And these people were professional people. And we got there, tickets, plane tickets, everything. Nobody showed up the first night. Nobody showed up the second night. Nobody showed up third night. Nobody showed up the fourth night. Now, I wanted to quit. So for you guys out there and you have a significant other, just make sure both of you don't quit at the same time. And that's what saved us. Because I didn't know, guys, I was pissed. I tried not to be, but I was. I said, man, guys, why would y'all have us come down here? And you weren't doing the work to get people here, right? So we learned. So as we went along, we learned that you got to make sure people are committed
and they qualify.
And they qualify. Yes, they qualify before you make that kind of commitment toward them and their business. And we could tell you story after story. I mean, we all got them, but
so what we do now is basically when someone enrolls and they say that they really want to do this business, our system, we will do a one-on-one training with them, take them through. You have to attend the calls on Thursday night, Monday night, our team call, special events. We want you to be there. Now we have a lot of calls, guys. So everybody can't be on every call. And if everybody's on every call, who's working the business? So you really got to think those things through. So that's what we did. So, and once we did that and realized that people were qualifying, once we would get them to a 1-star, then we would go. We'll go and we'll do a meeting, we'll do whatever, because they have a team. And we know that team, they're going to be inviting people and that there are going to be people there. So that one episode, that one thing that we did, that mistake that we made, taught us very quickly that people have to qualify. And so that's why our approach is that where you're not going to be rejected and you're not going to talk about the business if they don't qualify. In this industry, it's network marketing. And the only way that it does not work is simple. Network, NETWORK, just one letter. Substitute the E for O, not work. If you're not working, your network is not working. So it's network marketing. So we just realized then that we want everyone else, we don't want anyone to go through what we went through. That was a very costly experience.
Mhm.
And what we don't want anyone else to do that. So make sure that people qualify. And to do that, make sure that they're building the business. Because they can tell you, oh yeah, I want to do this, and I'm going to invite 100 people, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. But if they haven't done it before you get there, don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go. Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, then we realized after a while that a lot of people that came into the business just didn't have the business savvy, and they just didn't have the mental attitude or fortitude or the self-esteem or the self-image, and that held them back. They had a lot of desire, but their self-esteem was not where it needed to be in order to see themselves and feel themselves successful.
And so you could have a fantastic product, a great product, but if you aren't working on you and your self-esteem isn't there, then guess what's going to happen? You're not going to succeed at that. And guys, this is live. This is the real world. Didn't have any idea that somebody was going to be ringing the doorbell. So just know this is what we do. And this is how it's done. But basically, that's what you have to realize, is that we all have to do what's best for us. But if we're not working on ourselves, if we're not building ourselves, then we cannot build our business. And that's really important, that we understand what personal development and what personal growth can do for you. Now, we can't hide behind personal development. We have to work our business. But what we can do is understand that what are some of the books that we can read? What are some of the sites that we can go to? Or if you still have a CD player, what are some of the CDs that we can listen to? So personal growth is huge. And Raymond's background is that of being someone who's always coached or counseled around personal development. My background is corporate America, but also doing executive coaching as well as life coaching. So we have that experience. And so that's what really helped us to see that if you're not working on yourself in this business, your business will not grow.
Yeah.
As fast or as much as you want it to.
Yeah, Becca, another thing is that, because that this business is based on duplication, right? The only way you can become successful is that you create duplication in your business, right? And so Yolanda and I could probably be successful on our own, but that's what network marketing is not about. That it's about helping other people. It's not about being the king. It's about being a king maker, right?
That's right.
And so self-development, to me, is the key, not only to this business, but to life.
That's right.
Period. Non-stop, non-negotiable. If a person is not or choose not to do self-development, the chances of them making it in this business, because it's based on duplication, right? Because you're going to have people come into your business that don't have the self-esteem, that really would like to maybe the little lady down the street that's never been in business or been around business, that's been a hard worker all her life. But she sees this as a way that she can help a few people in church, or she might one day be able to save enough money to go to Hawaii or whatever, right? But she doesn't have the self-esteem. And a lot of them, believe it or not, guys, y'all probably see, a lot of them haven't even heard of self-development or have never picked up a self-development book. 85% of us walk around in this, even in the greatest country in the world, and not even aware. We're not even aware, guys, of there's something else other than what we can see right in front of us without common sense. So we went on this, I would say, a internal sabbatical on, we said that self-development had to come first. So in our trainings, and some of our trainings, especially in the beginning, we would draw draw a line down the sheet of down the middle of a sheet. And on one side, we put business, and on the other side, we put personal development. We always said this: the one thing that's required in this business, and is non-negotiable, is not a selective class. It's mandatory, and that is self-development, right? Because you're going to be dealing with all kind of people in this business. And a lot of people don't want to do it because it has a stigma to it. Because if it's something you can't taste, smell, or hear, or touch, then it must not work. And the majority of the people in this country follow the crowd. We were blessed. We had such a wonderful mentor. Yeah, thank you. Mentor. That's senior citizen stuff kicking in.
No, we just finish each other's sentences. I'm not going there.
But here's one of the things that he taught us. This guy from still holds the record, as far as I know, as having of earning the largest first paycheck in network marketing. His name was Johnny Danny, old cowboy from Georgia. We come from two different worlds, but I loved him because he had wisdom. And he was a school teacher. And one year he was voted school teacher of the year in the state. And the next year they gave him a 10% cut. And that's how he got in network marketing. But his very first paycheck was $55,000. His very first paycheck in network marketing. And he was very wise, and some of the guys may understand this that's on here. We would ask Johnny a question. He was one of those guys, Becca, that he would wait like 3 to 5 seconds to answer, right? He'd be thinking, and he'd give you these quotes to cause you to think for yourself, right? So we started making, I guess we were making about $5,000 a month at the time. And he was saying, and we went to Johnny, we said, Johnny, say, look, man, we're earning $5,000 here. We could probably go to another company and earn another $5,000. That's $10,000. And he just kind of looked up in there and he says, yeah, Ray, you and Yolanda probably could. But there's an old Chinese proverb that says, he that runs 2 rabbits at the same time normally starves to death, right? That's the kind of stuff he would say, right?
So don't do it, guys. Yeah. You can't do 2.
Yeah, we
just can't do 2.
In all our years, we've never seen anybody do more than 1 and earn a lot of money.
And be successful.
And be really successful. We've never seen it. Yeah. So he said this, and I've always shared it. If I'm speaking, if we're speaking at church or whatever, one of the things that he always told me was that I always read is this. He says, everybody has in this country, because it's free, everybody has a crystal ball. And I said, what do you mean, Johnny? He said, crystal ball. He says, if you want to know what your future is going to look like, he says, do what everybody else does. Then you'll know for sure. He said, you don't have to be a rocket science to figure that out. It's just follow. And he said, for even people in our industry, if you want to know where you're going to end up, follow the people to where you want to end up. And not the people that you don't want to end up, right? Where they end up. So to me, that's Yolanda is the intellect in the family. I'm the common sense guys, you know. I'm just down to earth, common sense. That's what makes stuff simple for me. Talk to me like I'm in the 3rd, 4th, 2nd grade. And I can work with it from there, right? I can even draw wisdom from things. I've been known, well, I won't say, but I've been known to have a little wisdom here and there. But yeah, everything is just common sense. And so I'll just say this, and then you can open it up to questions or whatever you want to. But we work at the very core of life. That's why we're in this industry. we there's plenty of talented people around in network marketing and in longevity that could go somewhere and make plenty of money, like with a lot of the binary stuff, right? Binary plans. But the reason why we love this so much is because we're working at the very core, and I want to repeat that, core of life. Without your health, nothing else matters. I'm telling you. And the older you, some of the young people don't understand it, like when we were their age, right? The older you get,
the more mature
yeah,
you get.
The more mature you get, the more you realize all this stuff that we've accumulated means nothing. It means nothing. We're not taking any of it with us. Only the things that we've left here, in my opinion, is the things we've tried to do to help other people, right? You can earn a Rolls Royce villa in the south of France. All those things, they mean nothing if you don't have your health. So we work with the very core of existence. And when you realize that and you understand that and you get committed to that, you'll be around, right?
And then if you have a product that works, something that's simple, then you know that that's something that you can talk to folks about and it's duplicatable. So it's just a matter of you deciding how you want to be, when you want to be successful and how you want to do it. And we've got the simple system to make that work.
Yeah.
So that's why we get excited. I mean, it was, I shared this with the team and I'll share this with you. And then Becca, we can definitely open it up to questions. And if folks want to know more about Fucoidan found in zRadical, they can join us on Thursday nights at our Happy Healthy Hour. It's at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. The Zoom is given out is on the Resource Center, but we can also make sure other folks get it as well. And then you can also go to majesticeagles.info, MAJESTICEAGLES, one word, majesticeagles.info. And there you have information on zRadical, on the Fucoidan that's found in the zRadical. There's a CD talks about how it's harvested and things of that nature. And then you hear more testimonials, no medical claims, just their personal experiences. And then there's also recorded of the Happy Healthy Hours. And then there's training. You'll hear Ben Fuchs. Definitely go to under the heading education, health education. Ben has done over 2 hours on Fucoidan and what it does. We speak on Thursday night. We just give you just this much of what Fucoidan does. So you can definitely go there and hear more information. But when Raymond was talking about, really having that mentor and really understanding and moving forward with the system and building you so that you can build your business, there's this quote that I shared with the team, and it was so funny. I couldn't remember when I shared it with them the first time, but now I remember it. So it's basically, if you want to, go fast, go alone. Off of sheer excitement. Don't even have to have the greatest self-esteem ever, just off sheer excitement, but that's not going to last long. But if you want to go far, you go with the team, you go together. And that's going to help you to grow. And that's why when Becca said she felt the love that Raymond and I gave, that's because that's what we do. We want to love on you. We want to grow with you. We want to see you be successful, because if you're successful, what we do becomes successful. It's about all of us, not one person. It's all of us. So that's why we truly am grateful to be on this call, but we're truly grateful that we know we have something that's duplicatable, that's a simple product that works hand in hand with the Healthy Body Start Pack. We know where the foundation is, but we also know that people are looking for something that's very simple, something that works. So that's why it's important that you have a system. If nothing else, guys, you have to have a system so that you can grow you in order to grow your business. It's just that simple. It ain't that easy, but it's just that simple. Yes.
Yeah. A couple of deals, like one of the things as far as self-development is concerned and why it's first, we kind of use the analogy of Moses. A lot of times people can identify with that. Well, Moses led his people to the promised land, but he couldn't take them in there. Mm-hmm. And the reason why he couldn't, we always say, well, why couldn't he take, his people into the promised land? He took them there. Why come he couldn't take them in? Because nobody can take you or us to the promised land. That's an individual job. You are the only one can take you to the promised land. You have fun going there together, but only you can decide whether or not you want to be successful at this, that you're going to be different, right? Successful people are just ordinary people that's willing to do what other people are not willing to do. Successful people don't like to do them either, but they just do them anyway.
Yep.
So we're open to we're like, I don't know.
So Becca, I mean, we can go on, but we definitely want, if folks have any questions or anything, we're willing to answer those questions.
Like on our trainings on Saturday, the better trainings are when people interact, right? But if this is not.
Well, no, we like to interact. We definitely like to interact. And I do have some questions here, because I know on your website, you have the recorded testimonials that you mentioned. And the question is, does it help with your own success to have those recorded testimonials? Do you pull energy from those to help keep you going? Is my part of the question. Because I know that's what the phone calls that I get any hour of the day, sharing, a positive thing that they haven't experienced in years. That's like praise God moments.
Yeah. Yes, and yes. So testimonials and the recordings that we have on the website, and that website anybody can use, guys. No one can sign up on that website, so nobody can take anybody. That's why we did it. About the team, when Bam, one of the guys on the team, said we need something during the pandemic because we aren't able to get out. So that's why we came up with that website. Anybody can use it. So now, do we ask folks, hey, let's keep this thing going? We pay for it every month. We do those things. So yeah, folks want to donate towards that. We're happy with that. But the bottom line is everybody can use it. But testimonials are very key, Becca. You think about it. In this business, something that will never change. Never. This is the last Mohican where it's face to face, belly to belly, eye to eye. This thing will never change. Stories sell. Facts tell. So yes, testimonials are very key. And yes, they excite us all the time. Even though we've heard so many things from a 2-year-old with eye cancer, not having that anymore, or a young lady that's 8 years of age with leukemia and getting on the product. At that point in time, we didn't know anything about the 90 for life. It was strictly just Fucoidan. And in 6 weeks, she's doing great and not considered to have leukemia anymore. Will always be that leukemia patient, but she's in remission, if you will. So yes, the stories make a difference, a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. So another question is, how does the Power Pack, which I absolutely love because it includes that bottle of zRadical, how does that compare to a Healthy Body Start Pack?
Well, I don't know. When you start talking about products, and you start comparing, and people start doing this. Here's what our philosophy is, because to be totally honest, everything don't work for everybody. Mm-hmm. And you have to listen and notice your body and how you're feeling. Because people ask me, well, how many EFAs should I take? Well, I tell them, how many make you feel good? How many do you see a difference with? Right? You have to experiment with your body, right?
Right.
Those types of things. So it's hard for me to say. It's kind of like, you know, which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? So I will try both of them, if you will, and if and what I mean by that, not necessarily spend all that money on both of them at one time, but maybe you can buy one month and another one the next month, or buy one for 3 months, see how that works for you, and then buy another one for the next 90 days and see which one. And then you might come up down the road with a combination of both of them, right?
And it really depends on what people like. I mean, we like the beverage because it gets into your system a lot faster. You know, when you think about it, it's a beverage and you're drinking 4 ounces every day. So with that in mind, it also has your vitamin Bs, your turmeric, your milk thistle. All of that is in this product. If you look at some of the fucoids, for example, it only is strictly fucoidan and other seaweeds in it. That's it. No vitamin B, no turmeric, no milk thistle, none of that in here. And when I say vitamin Bs, I should say bees. So that's what you have to consider. And then the powder is for those individuals that, one guy told me the reason why he likes the powder so much is because it's easier for him to mix it into his smoothies. Now, it's easier for me to do the beverage, but it's your personal preference. They all do the same thing. They all work at the cellular level. It's just what you like more. We just know that we've had greater results with this because this is what we have used in the past, and people drink 4 ounces, 2 ounces or whatever, and they see results. So that's what's so great about it. But 4 ounces is what you should be doing each and every day.
Well, I'm glad to know that because I do 2 ounces twice a day. So that gives me 4. So good. And then the powder, I'll do that. I mean, I love the taste of the powder too. And just drink it throughout the morning because we have to have hydration. So it just makes your hydration taste good. And then the Fucoid Z capsules for that extra fucoidan. So I'm well covered on the zRadical and fucoidan coming into my body.
I think you are. Yes.
But I do it as a preventative type measures because I don't want to go into these other places that you had mentioned pubmed.gov, and you can search, folks, Fucoidan. It's going to come up with hundreds, if not thousands. I think it's over 2,000 the last time I checked.
That's right.
Research projects that have looked specifically at Fucoidan and what it does within the body and the benefits of it.
Yep.
And they're in these products.
I mean, you think about it, it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, antiparasitic, anti-inflammatory, anticoagulant, and anti-aging properties. And that's just a few. And you can go and see the research on that. Dr. Orwa from Japan basically shows where fucoidan has very similar antibodies as mother's breast milk. So think about that. So, and these are facts, guys. These are the facts that tell. But then when you couple that with a story, you hear someone that my sister-in-law, who was a breast cancer survivor, who was told that she was only given 6 weeks, 8 weeks to live, and we get her on doses upon doses. We were doing 12 to 16 ounces a day as a pharmaceutical grade food. You can't overdose on it. She's cancer-free 20 years later. So yeah, you know, whatever works for you is what you do.
Yeah. I want to put something to bed, Becca, while we're here. People may or may not know this, but guys, we don't get paid a penny on promoting zRadical. Not one. We were
just what we earn on our team.
Yeah, just like what
you do, just like you do.
They don't pay us for bringing. We don't own it. We don't own not one penny of zRadical or fucoidan. We're just a distributor, just like everybody else. But people think that we do, because, and the only reason is because we promote it so passionately, because the research is there, and we have 46 years of experience together with fucoidan.
And it works.
And we've seen what it does. And you have the research behind it. There's no denying that. So I'm not gonna, if it's not broke, I'm not gonna fix it. Now the other thing, Becca, is this: we about our calls, because we've had people say this, network marketing, small world, say, well, Raymond and Yolanda's call is nothing more than a Fucoidan promoted call.
And
is a Fucoidan call.
Yeah, it just promotes that.
Yeah, and that's not true whatsoever. We promoted all, guys. We promoted all, right? We get paid no matter whether it's on zRadical or the Healthy Start Pack or what have you. We don't,
or Stay Natural products, or whatever it may be.
Yeah, the reason, and I'm going to take this a step further. When we first brought the product, you have to understand this. Dr. Wallach in the organization buys or purchases a lot of companies, and especially during those times back in the, up to 2015, 16, they were just going through that growth spurt. And there was a lot of companies that was bringing over the same types of product that Longevity already had. And so what would make you buy one vitamin C over another vitamin C? And here's the reason why we survived. And a lot of those companies came over, and because they didn't promote their product correctly or long enough, that they went out of business or they went downhill or whatever. You don't hear about them anymore. Yolanda and I and the Majestic Eagles, what we decided, we knew what we had and that it was going to help people, not from an ego standpoint or from this or because we knew the truth and it was backed by science. And so every meeting that nobody in Longevity had heard of Fucoidan. So every meeting that we attended back then, the conferences on every call that we could, we promoted it to make sure that because people needed this product. That's the only reason we were able to do it from our hearts instead of our heads, because we knew people needed it. And for years, we promoted this thing. If I sit down beside you at a conference, you were going to hear about Fucoidan, period, right? You zRadical or Fucoidan, you're going to hear about it. And so that's the way we've always promoted it, and because we wanted to stay around. Guys, it's just business. If they don't sell enough of it, it will fade away.
And if you're not talking about your product, I mean, you listen, you hear Fred talk about his products, you hear Dr. Laura Dennison and Stan Dennison talk about their products. You hear other folks talk about their products. When your company is purchased, you bring that passion of what your product is with you. You're not going to leave it behind.
Yeah. But the only difference is
you're going to consistently talk about it.
We don't get paid, guys. I'm saying we don't get paid a penny.
That's right.
Okay. They own those companies. We didn't. Right. Okay. So I just want to make sure.
Yeah, because we've had people thinking that they would call us and say, well, how much are y'all going to make from this, from Longevity? And we go, we're not making anything.
Yeah, I think we have the calls, our personal calls on Monday night, the Fucoidan calls for us
on Thursday,
because we making money. No, that's not the case.
Yeah.
At all. I wish it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Becca, go ahead.
That just goes to prove that you have the confidence in a product because of your own experience, the experience that you've been able to share with others, that you can't stop recommending something that has so many benefits to it.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's like people recommend movies all the time, or toothpastes or gum. Why not recommend something that's promoting health and keeping it going, keeping it around?
That's right. And I just think the other ambassadors that are out there doing the same thing, they understand that too. You know, they understand that we all have to do the same thing. Where our passions are, that's what we have to do. But you're absolutely right. We do it because we love it. We're not getting, we just kept getting phone calls. People thought we were getting paid for it, and we're like, oh my God, we got to set the record straight. No, we're not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Miss
I see
Cindy,
some questions there.
yeah, we had two
Yes.
people right there.
Yeah.
Miss Cindy, no,
Yes. So let's go ahead and grab a question here before our time is up. And Ruth Ellen, you have a question?
Yeah. Hello, Raymond and Yolanda. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
So
you.
happy that you're here. We have JJ Jackson on YouTube. He says, does zRadical help a dog with a small lump, and how much daily for a 60-pound dog?
60-pound dog, a small lump. I would say I would start them off with what, 2 ounces?
Yeah, if it's a small dog.
I would
2
start
ounces.
off with 2 ounces, and then I would do that for about a week, how that dog is doing, and then I would increase it up to the 4 ounces.
Yeah, and
Okay.
remember, you can put it on topically. We've seen, and that will also help outside and inside.
That's right.
Yeah.
Put it in lotions if you want to, and just put it on topically, or you can just get a cotton ball and just dab it on where the lump or the tumor may be.
Yeah. And it's not gonna, it doesn't have any side effects. So if you want to give the animal 4 ounces, that's fine, right?
It's a pharmaceutical grade food.
Yeah.
Put it in, you can put it in the food if you want on top. Put it in the water, so you can do whatever you need to do. Get aggressive with it if you want it to leave quicker.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And you could even use like a spray bottle, a mister bottle, to put
Yeah.
it on the dog. So you're not mixing any in the cotton ball, it's just going on the animal.
That's right. That's true.
Or the human. Or the human. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. And we have Jill with a question. Jill, thank you for raising your hand. I was going to ask your question, but I'm going to let you ask it. And hold on. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I don't know. It
There
might be
you go.
better for you. I'm at the market. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Okay. So I have a potential client that has been told that she has melanoma on her nose and it's gone into her eye. And, you know, the allopathic medicine has a plan for her nose, but they're telling her with her eye that she's going to go blind and it's a matter of time. So I'm just, you know, I right away went to your products thinking that they were a good choice for her. So you're here. I'd like to know what your thoughts are.
And melanoma, it's on her nose, you said?
Yes, it's on the nose. And it must be on the tip because I said to her, what's the plan for the nose? And she said to take the tip of my nose off. So it must be on her nose and it's traveled so that it is in her eye.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure. So number one, again, she can use it topically, put it on the nose, and she can dilute it if she chooses to, but she can put it with a dropper in her eye.
Really? So like colloidal silver, you can put it right in your eye.
I would mix it with the colloidal silver. That's what I would do, and I've done that before. So,
but you would drop the Z-Radical, you would mix it with the colloidal silver together?
That's
okay.
exactly right.
Okay.
And then I put it in the dropper and I would drop it into my eye.
Yeah, and make sure she puts it on topically all over and
drink at least 4 ounces a day.
Yeah, or more because she already has it, right? And so she's got to be aggressive with it. She can also take the Fucoidan pills as well. I mean, these as well, because you got to remember, as we say, when your house is on fire, you can't use a squirt gun to put the fire out. You got to use a fire hose. So be very aggressive with it. Put it on 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day topically. Drink it as much as she can. Dr. Glidden says buy as much zRadical as you can and drink it, and then go out and get a loan and buy some more.
Yeah. Okay.
So she definitely wants to do that. But yeah, and also if you go to majesticeagles.info, you can read some of the testimonials. There should be one there about melanoma.
Perfect. Thank you. That's what I needed. Thank you so much.
You're
Mhm.
welcome.
The eye thing, I would never have thought you could put the Z-Radical in the eye. So that's awesome. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, I put mine in straight, Jill.
He had pink eye,
Yeah.
and he just put it in his eye, and it cleared it right up.
And I have a
How about
tendency.
a sty? How about a sty in the
Oh
eye?
yeah, I have a tendency to rub my eyes at night in my sleep and scratch my retina.
Your cornea, yeah.
Or is it the cornea?
Whatever.
And I'll put a drop. I used to have to go through to the optometrist years ago, at least once every 2 months. Now I just take a dropper twice a day, drop it in there, and I'll put a patch over it, so no light for the maybe 2 hours, and it's gone.
Awesome.
And
Thank
that's his
you.
personal experience. He's not making any medical claims.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
understand.
either.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Jill. And thank you for that. And I just want to remind everybody that this program is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor are the products meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases, folks. But when you give the body what it needs, what it's starving for, the body itself can do some amazing things through the out. From the inside out, the outside in, it needs it, it soaks it up, it uses it. And that's one thing that I love about the Longevity family of products, not just the flagship, but the family of products, is there is quality formulated into it where you are getting the best absorption of anything on the market.
That's right.
I experienced that myself. So we are at the end of our time. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here with us. We love you. We appreciate you. I'd love to have you back as we talk more about the self-development part of it, folks. If you don't have your mind right, how are you going to spread that love, that positiveness to those that you interact with?
That's right.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but almost.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on with us today. I love and appreciate you both.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys. Have a great holiday.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to the two of you and all of our family who are with us, whether they're here physically, spiritually, online. Thank you so much for joining us here on Daily with Doc. I just want to do a special shout out to my team. If they could bring themselves onto the screen with me, I'd greatly appreciate that, because I could not do this without them. We have Ruth Ellen, who is my right hand, who makes sure everything flows smoothly and helps with the training and just, we work together as a team. So I love that. We have Albert down in South Africa with all of his critters that he loves to share with us through videos as he's bringing in,
AJ.
helping to bring in people. I'll get to AJ in just a minute. Helping to bring people in and watching the cameras, comments. Thank you so much, Albert. We have Marilyn here. Yes, so they've got theirs. And I've got mine here close by too. I take that every day. We have Marilyn, and folks, if you're out in any of the platforms, you're missing out on the dictation that Marilyn does for us here in the live Zoom, in the chat. So, and I didn't mention it in the beginning that if you're here live with us, make sure you have that chat on, because Marilyn is taking and repeating information that is being said, those key points to help us really grasp the message and be able to hear it and see it. And we have AJ, who is the right hand to my right hand. He helps get us out on all of these different platforms and really helping to spread the message, because all of us, folks, have felt the difference. And together, we want to make sure that you also are getting the information so that you have the opportunity to feel the difference as well. Again, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's no one to thank, then visit our website or give our team a call, dailywithdoc.com or 855-949-3377. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week on Daily with Doc with more empowering information to help you make decisions in life that puts you on a better health journey, whether it's mentally, physically, or financially. My name's Becca Dukes. Bye for now.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.